Hello everyone, I'm Sheridan Plum of First National Bank and welcome to a special edition of First National Banknotes. Earlier in the month of October, we hosted our annual Stanley French Education Forum right here at the Financial Administrative Center, Point Seraphin, Castries. Topic up for discussion, digital currency and its impact on the ECCU.
We recognize that we need to be able to facilitate digital payments as a pillar of a new digital economy. So we can either adapt, evolve, and participate, or we can be left behind the rest of the world.
For those of you who weren't able to make it, here's an opportunity to view the entire event, which will be airing in two parts. Stay tuned for the details in this special edition of First National Banknotes.
There is no better symbol of independence than your very own vehicle. With First Wheels from First National Bank, we offer a very competitive interest rate with rapid approval and 100% financing on new vehicles. Enter your state of independence with a First Wheels vehicle loan from First National Bank. First National Bank, here for you.
Welcome back. Part 1 of our 2019 Stanley French Education Forum will feature a presentation from Mr. Stephen Phillips, Vice President of Special Projects of BIT Inc. Mr. Phillips is currently spearheading the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank's pilot project on creating a digital economy in the ECCU.
We are introducing today the DXCD Caribbean digital currency. This is a central bank issued digital currency, and the ECCB has partnered with BIT Inc., a Barbados-based technology company where I am the Vice President of Special Projects, and we are executing this project in collaboration with the ECCB, and just recently on Thursday the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank has announced in a DXCD summit the title for the project, DXCD Caribbean. The governor has said that the DXCD Caribbean project is a key step in the build-out of a digital economy in the ECCU. And this is a necessity for the transformation of the region. So what we are introducing, the vision, is a secure, accessible, real-time payments instrument for the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. So what is this new payments instrument, you may ask? And it's a central bank issued digital currency. What that means is it's the EC dollars you have in your wallet, but it's a digital version. What are the motivations? The first motivation outlined by the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank is innovation and growth. We recognize that the ECCU is currently growing at a rate of around 3.5%, where the target is 5%. This digital Eastern Caribbean dollar is meant to lift and accelerate that rate of growth to help us achieve these growth targets. The next motivation is broadening financial inclusion. We recognize that there are many individuals in the society who are not able to participate with digital payments. They may not have a bank account, they may not have access to credit. This initiative will help to solve some of these problems and allow for wider portions of the, more citizens to participate in a digital space. Next up, we have resilience and competitiveness. And we recognize that technology is a key lever to increased global competitiveness. The ECCB has said recently 80 to 90% of all transactions within the ECCU are paper-based. And this lags way behind the rest of the world, especially high-income countries as well as high middle-income countries. Next up, we have reduced the high cost of payments within the ECCU. As all of you know, transacting within the ECCU between territories, between banks can be very expensive. The last point is hardening the financial system against crime. And we recognize that digital payments can help solve some of these problems. And these are the 5 motivations that the ECCB has outlined for piloting a digital Eastern Caribbean dollar. So moving on, we will recognize that the ECCB is not alone in exploring digital currencies. The Bank for International Settlements has recently conducted a survey of central banks, asking them about central bank issued digital currencies, and all of the central banks that responded are there. And upwards of 70% are currently or will be soon engaged in central bank digital currency work. So motivations from that survey, we see payment safety has been outlined, we see payments efficiency, we see financial stability, financial inclusion. These are all aligned with what the ECCB is also purporting as motivations for exploring the issuance of a digital version of the Eastern Caribbean dollar. Next up, we'll take a look at the payments landscape. So in 2019, we have large amounts of payments being completed with cash and checks. We have credit cards, we have debit cards, we have electronic payments. So what does the future hold? The future outlook, the ECCB is seeking a reduction in cash. They are targeting a 50% reduction in cash by 2025, 80% reduction in checks. If you run a business, or I'm sure First National Bank would know, checks are a tremendous friction in the economy. So the ECCB has been very clear that what they're putting forward is a variety of payment options. So the first thing that everyone must take away is that this is not a cryptocurrency. This is sovereign currency issued by the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. And it's on a private permissioned network where the identity of all parties is known. So we'll get into some more details of the characteristics. Again, sovereign legal currency, legal tender, the same 2.7 to 1 US dollar. It's an ECCB liability. It will co-circulate with cash and bears no credit risk and is non-interest bearing. It will be distributed by licensed banks, non-bank financial institutions, and approved service providers. Transactions will be facilitated via digital wallets on smartphones. So what we're talking about here is really mobile payments. You can go on the App Store, you can download the DXCD Carib app during the pilot. You can load DXCD on your wallet via ecosystem partners. That may be a commercial bank, it may be another entity, it may even be a merchant. You can go to a merchant, give them cash, and they can give you digital dollars on your device. And then you'll be able to transact. You can transact peer-to-peer, you can transact business-to-business digitally, and you can make payments at a merchant using the digital version of the Eastern Caribbean dollar. And this will facilitate instant settlements where both parties receive a confirmation immediately.
You're watching First National Banknotes. When we come back, the second half of Mr. Phillips' presentation next.
Born from the same soil, growing stronger.
Raised of our own sweat and toil, doing it together.
Our bank for you and me,
Taking us forward so proudly.
First National Bank, the best of who we are. First National Bank, together we'll go far. The pride of St. Lucia, here to stay.
Growing up, growing stronger, it's a First National way.
Every day we're back in better, faster.
So key provisions for DXCD Caribbean, a sound legal framework, and this is based on the ECCB Agreement of 1983 as amended and the Payment System Act. And these provide sound legal footing and guide the ECCB in this initiative for transformation. Next up, we have strong Know Your Customer, KYC, anti-money laundering, and combating the financing of terrorism protocols. The ECCB is a regulator and will be formally named in law as a regulator for AML-CFT. The ECCB governor has said that a strong protocol for KYC AML-CFT is a non-negotiable for this project and ensures compliance with global standards. And potentially this has the implication to also help with the phenomenon of the loss of correspondent banking relationships. The last key provision that I wanted to talk about is high standards for cybersecurity. I've only been here for a few hours so far, and you know, as I talk to people and ask questions, one of the key things that come up, especially among the older generation, is security. You know, there's this fear of losing all of your money, and it's very valid. So the ECCB is providing a safe payments instrument with the DXCD with inbuilt security features. Again, access to the network will be permissioned, will require the identity of all parties to be known, will require a username and password, and where enhanced security features like multi-factor authentication will also be available. Why does central bank issued digital currency matter? Why does DXCD matter? And we have various players in the monetary system here. Let's begin with central banks. They are able to maximize seigniorage, improve monitoring and regulation. This is important for central banks. As we know, they all want to cut costs. Next up, let's look at commercial banks. They also get to reduce cash handling, optimize treasury and operations. Commercial banks also have the opportunity for new digital services, like digital custodian services, providing digital wallets. This is an exciting time where new revenue streams are possible. For the businesses, the entrepreneurs, and the established businesses in the room, they are able to reduce costs of trading throughout the region and internationally with digital currencies, improve efficiencies for cross-border payments. And they also have new opportunities for new payment channels, as well as new business models. Access to digital payments and new financial services. So again, for businesses, this is a huge opportunity. And for consumers get faster, safer remittances. You know, we heard some stories about trying to get car parts from Montserrat, and the car parts were actually in Antigua. And you know, the amount, it cost 90 EC dollars to send the wire, and the car part cost $80. And it took, you know, 3 days for the payment to be made. It's just a mess, you know. So there are huge opportunities for consumers to have faster, safer payments. And then the last point, financial inclusion. So having a payment system, a payments infrastructure that allows the average citizen to be able to participate in a digital space is potentially very advantageous for the economies. People no longer have to, people who are generally excluded today can now participate and make digital payments and add to the growth of the economies of the region. The economy of the future is digital, right? 20 years ago, smartphones were, you know, like talking about rocket ships. People couldn't even comprehend them. But look at us now. Everyone has a smartphone. People can't live without it. They can't live without their WhatsApp, their Facebook. So we recognize that things are advancing. And in order to capitalize on this transformation, we recognize that we need to be able to facilitate digital payments as a pillar of a new digital economy. So we can either adapt, evolve, and participate, or we can be left behind the rest of the world.
Unfortunately, we've now come to the end of this week's episode of First National Banknotes. If you found the presentation interesting, you'd be happy to know that this was only part 1 of our Stanley French Education Forum 2019. It's about to get even more interesting in part 2, which will be aired in our following program, which will feature questions and answers from the audience and Mr. Phillips. Don't forget, we're open every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12 noon at our various locations. You could view this show again right here every Wednesday on HTS at 8 p.m. or go online at www.firstnationalbankonline.com. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm Sheridan Plummer. See you next time. And remember, First National Bank is here for you.